Good afternoon and welcome to the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex here in Fort Lee for today's boys soccer action between the Cardinals of Westwood High School and the Bridgemen of Fort Lee. Hello everyone, I'm Dan Long. So glad that you could join us as this will be a good showdown between Westwood and Fort Lee this afternoon. Of today's game, as Fort Lee is done with all of their warm-ups and they're just waiting for Westwood now. As again, we're moments away from this matchup between Westwood and Fort Lee. Westwood coming into this game 3-1-2 on the season. 2-0. These two sides know each other quite well, as last meeting came on September 24th, 2019 in Westwood. Fort Lee won that one as the Bridgemen have held that advantage over the Cardinals in the recent run of things. Westwood last season went 1-3-3 in last fall's shortened season, while Fort Lee went 6-4 in last year's reduced season, winning 4 of their last 5 contests in the fall of 2020. But as the officials talk with the head coach of the Bridgemen, Demba Main, the two head coaches for the respective sides. For Westwood today, they're led by Scott Murphy. Cardinals are looking for their first win since a 3-2 home win against Riverdale earlier this season, when they won on September 14th. And Fort Lee led by Demba Main in his 10th season at his alma mater, 92 wins overall in his coaching career. He has led the Bridgemen to 4 winning seasons and to the North 2 Group 2 sectional semifinals in 2015. He has built this program up to a high standard, and they are off to a red-hot start in this season, 5-1. They have won 5 in a row since losing their season opener on the road against Cliffside Park 4-0. They have taken care of business, winning games against Passack Hills, Dumont, Paramus, Ridgefield Park, and most recently taking on and taking down Bergenfield 3-1 in their last fixture on September 25th. Fort Lee chasing after Dwight Morrow and Cliffside Park. Each are 2-0-1 in the Big North American Division, while Fort Lee is 2-1. Behind the Bridgemen are Ridgefield Park 1-3 and Dumont still winless 0-3 in divisional play. Fort Lee has righted the ship and offensively have produced now 13 goals in their first 6 games of the season after being shut out in that season opener. As again, we were scheduled for a 4:15 kickoff time, but even as the time has been ready on the scoreboard, now finally Westwood, who had a couple of players arrive here maybe a little later than expected, getting their necessary warm-up time all set, and we are about to get underway here shortly from the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex on a beautiful afternoon here in fall. 79 degrees at kickoff. In this tilt between Westwood and Fort Lee, a cross-divisional showdown in the Big North Conference, as it's the Patriot Division and the American Division clashing here today. Cardinals, the Bridgemen. Fort Lee has had Westwood's number. Will that change here today? Two teams over 500 already this season, as both teams will be read the sportsmanship rules by the officials before today's game, and then we are about to get underway. Demba Main, the head coach for Fort Lee in his, he said, 10th season. In the orange vest with the white shirt underneath. Trying to lead his team now to a 6th consecutive victory to begin this season, as they're in the midst of a nice little 3-game homestand as well. Finish things off on September 30th with a home match against Ramsey before hitting the road to take on Riverdale, a team that Westwood knows very well as one of their rivals in the Big North Patriot Division. Trip against Pascack Hills and earned a 3-3 tie on September 23rd. Traveling here to Fort Lee, and then they'll finish things off against the Spartans of Paramus High School on September 30th before coming back home for a pair of games against Ridgeville Park and then against league rival Mahwah. So we are about to get underway here from Fort Lee's and baseball as well as football. And outside of it being a little on the windier side, you can't ask for any better weather here today. It is just absolutely gorgeous out. Coin toss. Again, Westwood is going to be in white, and in the black, gray, and orange is going to be Fort Lee. Standing 6 goals on the season along with a team-high 13 points. He's been producing. He scored 2 goals against Bergenfield over the weekend in that 3-1 victory. Strelly's going to be leaned on once again to be one of the maestros of performance from their senior forward and Kirk Klaus. Klaus with 5 goals on the season to lead the way for the Cardinals. 20 goals in his illustrious high school career. Westwood has been able to produce. In terms of their goal scoring this season, they have scored 18 goals. We are about to get underway here in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Dan Long, so glad that you could join us for another edition of Fort Lee soccer action here on the Fort Lee YouTube channel. So about 10 minutes after we were supposed to originally kick off here, again with the late arrival. And that's something you're going to see a lot, I think, in high school sports around the sites. Just wait. And it looks like the keeper for Westwood might have to be making a jersey change here, as he was planning on wearing black, but Fort Lee is wearing their home black here today. So now the keeper is switching to pink. Stylish choice this afternoon, as it looks like it was going to be David Stokes, number 1, in goal for Westwood. As again, this is a good matchup. Cross-division rivals Westwood and Fort Lee. Fort Lee looking for their 6th consecutive victory to start off against Paramus Catholic, Mahwah, and Riverdale before dropping their first game of the season to Dumont, a Fort Lee rival in the Big North American Division. And they've now produced back-to-back ties against Ramsey and Pascack Hills, and they're underway here for some soccer action on the Fort Lee Athletic YouTube channel. Stolen away at the midfield by Koyohashi. That'll send. These are 2 high-powered offenses, so we might see some goals here aplenty this afternoon as that's headed back. Dalton Tafalage in net for Fort Lee here today. Long ball down the near side, trying to race after it was Toma Taku. Racing after it, TJ Ardis for Westwood. As Juno Kim, number 3, right in front of his keeper. Lays it to his compatriots in the back line defensive unit for Fort Lee, who have allowed only 6 goals in their last 5 to the far side. Here's Mark McClare, number 2. McClare is dispossessed of the ball. It's knocked out of play to the far side and will be a resulting throw-in now for Westwood. Knocked away, caught up in the wind. Taken away as Westwood loses possession. Up. Now into the offensive side of the field. Now whistle as it's going to be ruled to be out of bounds. Trying to feel out the course of the game here and garner some possession in the offensive end. Here's a little more pressure as Westwood taken against Manny Pack, number 20. The senior midfielder for Fort Lee getting in there a little too soon. And is trying to link up top with Kirk Klaus, number 16. Chasing it down to the far side, Jake. Westwood, a team that averages 3 goals a game so far this. Here's Jake Grinkovich. Deflected last touch off of Fort Lee, so Westwood has done a nice job of occupying space in the offensive end. And now the Bridgemen looking to break out the other way. They lob it down the far side. So now it's going to be spotted at the 35-yard line for the free kick for the Bridgemen, as they'll look for their first offensive opportunity. Wide of the mark to the right side post. That'll go out of play, but a great opportunity there off the set piece by Fort Lee. Outletted up the field now. Here's Peabody over to the near side. That's a little too long. Just about 6.5 minutes gone by here in the first half. Headed and misplayed by Fort Lee in their defensive side of the pitch, and it's going to be a throw-in now for Westwood. Through the outside, out of play for a goal kick. So it's going to be a throw-in for Fort Lee right in front of Coach Main and the Bridgeman bench. And a beautiful day for soccer here. Fort Lee 5-1 on the season in the Big North Conference. Cross-divisional matchup. These two teams were rivals for a couple of seasons, but after everything was reformatted last season in the American Big North Patriot Division. Deflected off of the foot of the defender for Fort Lee, and drawing a corner kick there is Kirk Klaus. Here's Peabody's shot. That time again getting in the shooting lane. The defense of Fort Lee trying to win back the possession as the Bridgemen just carom that one up and out of play. Defending there on the ball originally was Toma Takamatsu, the senior, who has 2 goals himself this season, doing a good job of getting in that shooting lane. Settled it down, could not turn and fire. Again, sound defensive positioning for the Bridgemen. Fort Lee trying to break it out the other way. They get the long ball to the near side. Here's Strelly. Strelly, number 11 in black and orange. Leads the team with 6 goals. Unselfishly passes it over to the far side. There's a shot and a better save. A save there for Westwood, as it looks like it was David Stokes ranging over to the far side post. The ping rolls out of play. So the best scoring opportunity of the afternoon coming the way of the Bridgemen of Fort Lee. They just could not get it, though, past Stokes. He made a great save extending over to the far side post to prevent that one from trickling in, as Fort Lee will go to their bench and make a couple substitutions. And as Tafalage will for Fort Lee on the far side. One in the midfield by the Bridgemen. Here comes Fort Lee back in the offensive side of the field. Trying that long ball link up to Strelly, who was trying to make in time his clearance. Only got out to the 30-yard line. Westwood now trying to make Fort Lee pay. That's deflected a bit, and it will casually roll its way back to the keeper. Again, the wind wreaking havoc there on that clearance opportunity. Again, it's just knocked down. Fort Lee, though, trying to get it out inside as they were trying to find Alex Oakley, who just came into the game, number 7. He's set up on the near side wing. Just could not get it to him. As Strelly now playing against the ball. Intercepted in the midfield by Fort Lee. They look to break. They have the long ball down the near side. Here's Oakley. But Oakley is going to be called for the handball as he was trying of his arm. So that goes for a handball, and now possession here for Westwood. Coming up on 28 minutes now left to go here in a scoreless first half of play. Oakley trying to win back possession. He knocks it out last. So it'll be a throw into the offensive side for Westwood. Klaus, sends that long ball diagonally to the far side, and nice job there by Fort Lee of shielding off the advance of Andrew Donnelly, number 17. He was trying to be the recipient of that diagonal pass on the far side. And Fort Lee just got the defender in front of him and then watched it casually roll its way out of bounds for another upcoming goal kick. So with the winds not helping things out here, we'll see how far this goal kick will go. That was the best kick so far for Tafilage. Westwood still trying to get their first shot on goal. Peabody over to the near side. Here's Klaus with the left foot. Takes the shot. Kicked away with a save. The follow-up attempt, and that shot is missed wide to the far side. But a big save there for Fort Lee keeps this scoreless, so both goalies with one big save apiece. As that time, Kirk Klaus had a couple of different opportunities that he was trying to produce that first goal of the game. It was a kick save that denied him that first opportunity. Went over the back of Calvin Park, number 10. Over to the far side wing. Fort Lee trying to send the service inside the 20. Knocked down, though, by Westwood. Here come the Cardinals the other way in the Peabody. Leaving it off. Here's the chip and another aggressive goaltending play and a save there. Westwood starting to gain a little more of the advantage right now. A couple of shots now out shooting the Bridgeman. Now here's the counter attempt, and then just diving out in front of the goal mouth is Westwood to make the stop. End-to-end in net for Fort Lee here today, and he makes another save, robbing Klaus of what would have been his 6th goal of the season. Leading goal scorer for Westwood, number 16, Kirk Klaus, of what would have been the first goal of the game, and for Klaus, his 6th goal of the season. That was 1v1, and so Benjamin Tomas, number 0, the sophomore, getting the start here today for Coach Demba Main at Fort Lee. And we've seen David Stokes make a couple of stops himself on the other end for Wessels. Going down the far side as we approach 23 minutes now left to go in this scoreless first half of play. They've had a couple of exciting. We've seen Timofey Strelli a couple times for Fort Lee having an opportunity on goal. And Kirk bang plays and bang saves right in front of his own net. Peabody throws it back in to Donnelly. So a whistle sounds as it looks like it was going to be offsides the call, and then the official making his presence known. So with the restart, it's going to be now the free kick given to Fort Lee. Fort Lee scoring 13 goals over this, all 5 being victories. Here's a shot from distance, and that would have been good over the crossbar of the uprights, as Westwood giving that a ride from long range. To not save it in time as it rolled out of bounds. I must say, Fort Lee's got sharp uniforms, but they are black. And even the goaltenders keep, the keeper kits in the all gray with a faint white number. Off of the foot of Koyohashi was deflected backwards as Fort Lee again looks for the clearance up the field. Trying to send Strelli down the far side. Marking him stride for stride has been Park. First half of play. Both teams have had some goal-scoring opportunities, only to be bested by the exploits of the goalies. David Stokes for Westwood, and Ben trying to chase after it. He's pushed away from it. They're going to say last touch off of Westwood, as that went off of the foot of Adam El Mosamani. Kick out now for Peabody and Westwood. Stolen back briefly. Now Oakley, but offsides is the call. Oakley thought he had a wide open opportunity to the near side, but he just handled by Stokes in the pink uniform. Again, he had to change his top in the beginning of this game as he was planning on wearing the all-black look, but because of as Westwood will make a substitution. Some Fort Lee boys soccer action here from the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex in beautiful Fort Lee, New Jersey. This cross-divisional Madden as that eventually caroms into the hands of Thomas. That'll be a handball. And now a free kick upcoming. And possession for Fort Lee just shy of mid top of the box. Gets a touch of it. Getting it back up top to Hashi. Hashi going 1v1 and gets it stolen away from him by Westwood. Fort Lee trying to fight back to win and garner possession, and they do. Over to the near side. Good work by the Bridgemen. As Oakley trying to bring it up to the near side flank. Goes out of bounds. Last touch off of Westwood. So it's going to be a throw in now for Fort Lee. Down this near sideline. Randy Marroquin, number 15, was originally going to be the one handling it, but now they're going to have another teammate come on and handle this throw. Trying to use the long throw to their advantage here. Lofting that one high into the box. Ricocheted forward and then parried away by Bennett Hyde, number 21, the freshman midfielder. Taken in around midfield. Sent back up to Koyohashi. That'll roll over and be handled by David Stokes, the goaltender for Westwood. Still scoreless as we're coming up on 15 and a half minutes now remaining here in the first half of play. Fort Lee trying to extend their win streak to 16th against Riverdale. Now it's going to be a throw into the near side for Westwood, as substitutions obviously being made for both teams here late in the first half of play. A couple of great saves by both of these goalies, keeping this a clean sheet in a scoreless game as it's played over to the near side. That comes back now to Andrew Hernandez. His clearance, though, is deflected away. There for Fort Lee. As the Bridgeman getting in the passing lane and knocking that one down and actually having it bounce off of Westwood last. So it's going to be a throw-in now for Fort Lee. Right in front of us in the broadcast area. Taken down right at the midfield. Klaus trying to turn and run with it. Klaus was the best goal-scoring opportunity so far in this game for Westwood. The senior forward had a point-blank opportunity, and he just on this side of the 50-yard line, around the 47 in Fort Lee territory. Taking that free kick was Juno Kim, number 3, the senior, as that'll roll all the way harmlessly into the hands of Stokes. Lofted down to Klaus. Klaus heads it forward. Sent back the other way. Alex Oakley getting a piece of it. Now the senior bringing it up, trying to send his teammate Strelly free down the other way. Goalie out of his net. Strelly takes the shot and diving back in time to make the play was Stokes. Aggressive goaltending there nearly was going to cost the senior goalie David Stokes as he was at. Thomas setting that one down the other way. Knocked down, nice job by Westwood, and then again easily scooped up by the sophomore for Fort Lee. Still remaining scoreless here as we're getting closer and closer with some of these prime goal-scoring opportunities. But each goaltender has been saying no with a couple of dazzling saves in the first half. Here's Strelly again winning, now trying to free up Oakley. Oakley trying to split the defense, but he shouldered away, and that allows Stokes to get that extra time. As that goes out of bounds, it'll be a throw-in now for Fort Lee. Getting it back to Oakley. Strelly, excuse me. Strelly with 6 goals leading the way this season for Fort Lee, number 11 in black and orange. Hashi dropping it off to Manny Pack. And there's contact and a foul on the far side against Westwood, so it's going to be a free kick upcoming for Fort Lee. They've had some opportunities here with the set pieces. Now they're going to be trying to cash in on this set piece and seeing what they can do. We'll see who'll handle it right now. It looks like it's going to be Koyo Hashi, who had an assist against Berger. Games for Fort Lee. Will give up this free kick now to a teammate. With just over 11 minutes left to go in the first half, sent in on goal, but could not get a header on it as it quickly just went right into the hands of the keeper. As Klaus was trying to run that one down, but was shielded off by Fort Lee. That goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in now for the Bridgemen. 10:40 and counting left to go here in the first half. Still scoreless between Westwood and Fort Lee. Westwood trying to snap a 7-game their last 7 games winless, I should say, against Fort Lee, as Fort Lee has gone 6-0-1 against the Cardinals in the last 7 matchups between the two schools. They have dominated this recent rivalry. Taken away by Westwood. Good strong tackle, though. Produced by Mariquin, the junior. As that'll go out of bounds, will be possession upcoming for Westwood. And 3 new Cardinal players coming into the game. Valerio will have the restart here. And will look to throw it in. As behind him just to the edge of the top of the box. Good poking and prodding, though, by the defense. And there's a quick angled shot, curling and bending in off the foot of Klaus. Another big save by Thomas. Possession stolen away, though, by Westwood. The Cardinals getting it into the box, trying to center the ball. Deflects off of the back line and out of play for a corner kick. TJ Ardis, the junior who had a goal against Ramsey back on September 21st, doing the nice dribbling display there as Westwood earns the corner kick. Taken from the far side, low liner kick. Had no chance of finding anyone from Peabody. 8:40 and counting now left to go here in the first half. Both teams have had plenty of opportunities, but each side have yet to produce a goal. Here's Klaus, who had that great opportunity earlier on in the half, the yellow and out of bounds, as he was trying to curl that one back to the center position. As that goes out for a goal kick and a quick restart here for Fort Lee. They're going to say last touch off of Strelly, or is that going to be a foul? Looks like it might be the case of a foul whistled against Fort Lee, as this is a free kick upcoming now for Westwood. With 7:35 and counting left to go in the first half of play. Nice dribbling there by Fort Lee, getting it up the field to the midfield, but a couple of breakout opportunities for Fort Lee when the Bridgemen have been able to play the long ball and just send Alex Oakley or Timofey Strelly down the other way, racing after it. As both teams trading possession a little bit there, with under 7 minutes now left to go in the first half. Tackle took a lot of the player with him, as Bennett Hyde, the freshman, getting over-aggressive there, gets called for the foul against Westwood. Here's a beautiful diagonal pass over to the near side. That first touch betrayed Fort Lee's opportunity there, as Takamatsu was trying to settle it down after getting that long ball sent his way. As Tamas was right behind him, ready to handle it if the goalie for Fort Lee needed to come out and make a play there. As it goes to the far side, vacuumed up by Fort Lee and sent out of bounds again. Not taking any chances deep in their defensive side of the pitch, with 5:45 remaining here in the first half of play. Westwood trying to score late here in the first half before halftime and take a 1-0 lead on the road. Field is tilted a little bit in this direction, as Westwood has been enjoying more of the possession. Fort Lee has not had that many opportunities to possess themselves on offense. Oakley, who has 2 goals and 2 assists on the season, had an assist against Bergenfield in that 3-1 win. Referee deemed that to be a clean challenge. Taken to the far side by Jake Grinkovich, but he loses the possession. And now tripped up from behind, and that's going to be a foul. As Strelly was sent down to the deck. 4:25 left to go here in the first half of play. Free kick. Quickly handled as Fort Lee trying to get it back in the course of play. Here's Hashi. Hashi, who's been the leading assist man this season for Coach Demba Main's side, gets knocked off the ball there after a couple of nice moves by him to dribble it up to the top. Chipped forward. But again, Westwood in good defensive positioning. They'll elect to just send it out of bounds to the near side, so it's going to be a deep throw in here offensively for Fort Lee. And a chance for the Bridgemen here with under 4 minutes left to go to maybe garner another good shot on Cage. With it to the near side was Manny Pack. Pack earns another throw in with 3:20 and counting left to go here in the first half. And it's been entertaining. Both teams playing such similar styles. Both goalies have been up to the effort so far through the first 30-plus minutes of play, as we're coming up on the final 3 minutes left to go of the half. To the near side, taken away from Mariquin. And then it's going to be a foul whistled against Mariquin and Fort Lee, so a free kick upcoming now for Westwood. With 2:44. And a whistle here. And it looks like it's going to be another foul against Fort Lee. Bridgman are going to be backed off by the on the season for number 8 in white for the senior who had a goal and assist against Pascack Hills on the 23rd. Here's Peabody's service. Came out a little too wide and too far out. Could not make the clean stop off the service from Peabody, and Klaus got a deflection on it enough. He was sick of being denied in this first half. And big number 16, Kirk Klaus, long ball offering down the other way that just went too high over the top of crossbar, and that'll go out for a goal kick. So Westwood scoring in the latter stages of this first half to take a 1-0 advantage over Fort Lee on the goal by Kirk Klaus off the assist from Liam Peabody. So Klaus, the leading goal scorer. Peabody and company looking for more. Knocked off the ball, played over to the near side to Pack. Westwood has been having the better of the advantages and the possession in this first half, limiting only a couple of good shot opportunities for Fort Lee. Shot, but just missed it wide to the right, as Strelly in the blink of an eye was close to equalizing this score. Just with under a minute left to go in the first half of play, a great offering there from the senior, number 11. Now for Westwood, we're trying to hold on dearly for this lead heading into the break. Mishit a bit as that goes backwards for Fort Lee in their defensive end of the field. Coming up on the final 10 seconds of the first half. The first 40 minutes of action here at the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex. A late goal scored in the first half courtesy of Westwood's Kirk Klaus has staked the Westwood Cardinals out, as we're going to be coming back after a short time out here at halftime for the start of the second half of action, where again at halftime it's Westwood leading Fort Lee by a score of As we're about to get underway to start the second half of play. As it is currently a 1-0 lead for Westwood up front for the Cardinals of Westwood, who are trying to garner their first win of the season since they won back on September 14th and try to move to 4-1-2 on the year and also break a 7-game row coming into today's game 5-1 overall on the season. Westwood in the white, Fort Lee in the black and orange. Dan Long so glad. And Renee Matisic doing the hardest work behind the camera here today. Beautiful afternoon for soccer. Again, windy but sunny and about 70 as they'll send it down the other way. Klaus had a couple of outstanding scoring opportunities where he was denied in the first half by Benjamin Thomas. Headed it home for the goal. His team-leading 6th goal of the season. Klaus benefited there with the goalie out of the net and off his line for that deflection goal. Often here today, Westwood has had the better of the play in terms of possessing and winning the balls in the midfield. Now a nice connection here. Running down that far side is Klaus as that eventually rolls out of play to the far side. And will that be... Peabody will handle the service from the far side, whip it inside, and punching that one away to space. Tomas doing a good job of getting that out of harm's way. Westwood trying to take it on to the possession. Here comes Westwood again, ranging over to the far side, getting it to Valario on the far side wing. Now Fort Lee stepping up and trying to win back the ball to Fort Lee. So a late challenge leads to the first yellow of the game, as that looks to be Manny Pack. As he's getting an earful from head coach Demba Main, trying to instruct him, wafted deep inside the box again, punched away with the two hands by Tomas. To the far side, as Fort Lee will have it now set up for a goal kick. That 1-0 advantage. In the midfield, contacts, but we play on. That was clean. Coming underneath it, Strelli winning back the possession. Endures the contact, but again, a clean challenge, so it's Westwood. Briefly couldn't settle it down in time for the shot. Here's a shot opportunity, blocked away by Westwood. It caroms out past the end line, so it's going to be a corner kick. And goal as we're coming up on 5 minutes gone by to start this second half of play. Again, you could see the wind playing a part here. We'll see if this will affect this corner kick. That was just taken by the wind and jettisoned out of play. Headed forward by Peabody. Sent over to the near side. Intercepted by McClare. McClare trying to send that ball up. Good defending there by Fort Lee, trying to go for the long ball to Alex Oakley, who's trying to camp out the other way. Harmlessly out of bounds, and it's going to be a goal kick upcoming. With 34-20 now left to go here in regulation, a 1-0 lead for Westwood. And stop that long winless streak against the Bridgemen. Tomas coming out to secure that one. A 1-0 win here at Fort Lee. So they have not won since 2013 against the Bridgemen. Everything but just complete that finishing touch on the pass. Westwood with it'll be a throw in now. Park. Here comes Westwood wins back possession in the midfield with Hernandez over to the mission for Fort Lee. But Klaus could not get a shot off. Hitting Fort Lee a little bit with their back line moving forward, and there's a one-timer attempt for Klaus. Might have had a little more time than he thought he did. Last couple moments in this game as Westwood's back line up top to their forwards. They just have not been able to hold on to the ball. As the Bridgemen, once again, just knocking it out of play in front of the Westwood bench. It's a 1-0 advantage for Westwood. Fordley had a good opportunity offensively earlier on in this half, but the last couple of moments dispossessed and taken over by Klaus and company. Now for Westwood attacking the other way. Klaus leaving it off in the midfield now, but now Westwood bringing it up again. Here's Hernandez. They play on. Westwood getting away from that midfield approach of little harassment going on there, and Chris Eager having to play that one out of play. Just trying to kick it out of harm's way. So now a corner kick opportunity here for Fort Lee. Last corner kick was taken away by the wind. Oakley just does enough to keep it in play. But now there's a whistle, and is there going to be a there? So it's going to be setting up a set-piece opportunity now for Fort Lee. Just inside the corner area, so this is as Fort Lee looking for the equalizing goal. Soft delivery, one. Kicked away on the near side post from Westwood. Good defending by the Cardinals. So Hashi had the initial set-piece opportunity, then the follow-up. Tried a centering ball and tried to find someone lurking on the near side out for Westwood. Tie against Ramsey, most recently on the 21st of September. Diagonal ball, beautiful ball, finding Egar making the save on a bang-bang shot off the foot of Alex Oakley. Now Westwood attacking with a... There's a header attempt, just going wide to the left side of the net. And the offensive side for Westwood. So Fort Lee with their best build-up of the side by Egar, and now it's still a 1-0 lead for Westwood as we come up in the final 26 minutes of regulation here in the second half. Klaus. Over to the far side, now to the near side, on the run, taking the shot, trying to go diagonal with it, was Ardis. Missed it wide to made it 2-0. Tomas now punting it away near midfield. Chested down by Strelli. Strelli bodied off the ball. Good defending behind him by Eric Curiel. Counter of their own. Oakley trying to be freed up there by Strelli. Peabody. Now McClare. McClare trying that diagonal feed as Peabody gets knocked away. Good defending, though, by Fort Lee inside their own box. On the sprint the other way, but it goes a little too far as Egar will come out of his area and off his line to secure that ball in possession for Westwood. Fort Lee starting to get a Fort Lee. Caden Chan had a goal and an assist in the win against Bergenfield in the last match. Headed out of play. And once again, it's going to be a throw-in now. For getting it over to Peabody. Peabody collected his 8th assist of the year earlier on in that first half. That led to the, right now, from the Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Sports Complex in Fort Lee, New Jersey. You're watching Fort Lee. Offside flag is up by the official on the far side after Oakley was trying to make his turn and potentially had Strelli. Alex Oakley, Calvin Park setting up to clear this one down. Just over 22 minutes remaining here. Klaus on the far side. Goes a Fort Lee, off of Fort Lee last, though. In the middle of the field is Manny Pack. Now here's a long ball to Strelli. McClare knocked down after he was trying to advance up the field. As that foul goes against Fort Lee, we'll set up the free kick behind the play. And now the clock will stop. 21-24. Now it's 22-10 left to go here in the second half. As a sub being made as number 10, Calvin Park, gingerly walking off the field to the far side. Park, who's a senior, has been one of the strong defenders, stolen away by Fort Lee. But again, the long ball not giving an opportunity for Strelly to race after it. This one away. Played over to the near side. Restart play here for Fort Lee. Shinoda wins possession again, stages of the second half, but they can't. Can they generate that into a goal? Fort Lee has only been shut out once in the season. That came back to free up the runner to the near side. Tomas setting that one out. As Tomas doing a good initial save, but parried away. Good defending there at the end to pick up. It was juicy there for Fort Lee. Now it's going to be a corner for the Bridgemen, taken on the far side. Low looping one, finding an outlet at the top of the box. There's the shot. Another save just in front of the goal line. And Fort Lee tantalizingly close to tying this one up with now under 20 minutes left to go as we reach the halfway point of the second half. Fort Lee getting cleared forward, now sent backwards into the offensive end of the field. Fort Lee trailing 1-0. Now ricocheting, pinballing inside the box. And now cleared out to Westwood. Was trying to call for a call here and a stoppage, but the play was still going on, and Fort Lee just stopped their run. They had a chance there with a numbers advantage. Nothing lead for Westwood. On the goal by Kirk Klaus back in the latter stages of the first half. 1907. Injured player coming off the field for Westwood. Calvin Park has come back into the game, number 10 in white. He was injured before for the Cardinals as he comes back onto the field, and now Westwood. The top of the box. Over to the near side of McClare. McClare trying to chip it inside the box, moving that back line forward. Pinching off the field. Klaus from distance, just missing to that far left side as that goes out of play for an ensuing goal kick. Klaus showing off that strong boot as he tried. Westwood is looking for their first win against Fort Lee since 2013. Fort Lee is 6-0-1 in their last 7 meetings, I guess, but then had 10 wins in 2019 alone. A program on the rise under head coach Scott Murphy. Tomas to the near side. McClare knocked away. Good defending there by Juno Kim. Here's a long ball trying to free Hashi. Park knocking it down. To the far side it goes to Valerio. Here's Klaus. Klaus knocked away, but he's going to earn a throw in here for Westwood with 2 new players subbing onto the field for Coach Murphy. As Klaus will get underneath it. He'll chip it over to the near side. That'll settle down here for Andrew Donnelly. Westwood starting to tilt the field again in their favor here. Approaching near the offensive side, and that is sent all the way out of the complex over the fencing and will be a throw-in to the near side wing. The dog park right behind us here at this sports complex. Might have gotten a new chew toy if they don't get that soccer back in play soon. Peabody trying to race in after it. Again, Fort Lee doing a nice job defensively. Now they get it back into the offensive side of the field. Strelly doing an outstanding job against 2 defenders. Breaks free. Now runs with it down to the near side. Here comes the leading goal scorer for the Bridgemen. Send wide and high of the mark. Strelly did a marvelous job of, at midfield, securing the loose ball, finding its way past two defenders, and then eventually linked up with Koyohashi. But Hashi just could not find a good shooting lane, pass it off to another teammate who airmailed that one out of play. As we come up on the final 15 minutes of regulation, again it remains a one-goal deficit for Fort Lee. Fort Lee coming into this game red hot, having won 5 in a row, taking on a very good Westwood side. Coming in off back-to-back ties, 3-1-2 on the season. Again, Fort Lee just sending that one in from distance. That's going to be easily handled by Chris Egar. As that goes out of play, it's going to be a throw-in now for Westwood as they'll make another substitution. Peabody with the back heel. Sent away forward again. Fort Lee racing in after it. They're going for the foot race. Egar in front, deflected in front. Ball is still loose in the box. As Fort Lee was close to just tapping it home after Hashi was trying to once again produce a 5th consecutive assist in as many games this season. Fort Lee is knocking on the door. Can they knock it down? Still being kept scoreless in this game. They've scored 13 goals over the course of their last 5 games in this 5-game win streak. They've been held in check here defensively today by Westwood. Down the near side wing, but offside's the call. Just could not stay on sides. Westwood trying to hold on here. Hashi to Strelly. Strelly dribbling all the way back past midfield. Tries the diagonal pass. Over to the near side, taken in by Westwood. Moving up the field, Curiel, whose pass is intercepted. Counter opportunity now for Fort Lee. Here's Strelly to the top of the box. Takes the right-footed shot, deflected a bit. Hashi now recovers it. Pinballs inside the box. Out to the near side to Shinoda. Back to Hashi. Hashi getting it on his left foot. Takes the shot. Swallowed up by the defender, Curiel. Fort Lee is throwing the kitchen sink at the Cardinals right now, and Westwood still holding on to that slim 1-goal lead as that goes out of play. And now here's the aggression, here's the domination in possession for Fort Lee. Hashi trying to turn on the defender and get through his legs with a nutmeg move. Still holds on to the ball, takes that shot again from distance, and that's going to be easily handled on one hop by Chris Egar. The senior telling the rest of his teammates to head forward with 11.5 minutes left to go in our game. Near side, Park falls down. Strelly was trying to time his run, but again, the pass is just too long. Fort Lee has been trying to just send the long ball the other way to get past that encroaching back line that has been aggressively moving forward throughout the game, cutting off the midfield chances. Resume play with a throw-in. Park stepping forward. And now Westwood with a breakout. McClare with Peabody running. As now Fort Lee starting to see time being a concern. Cardinals feeding the midfield. Here's Peabody reversing to the far side, finding Cloud to the Fort Lee defender. That's going to be a throw-in deep in the offensive end of the field now for Westwood, with 9:45 and counting left to go here in the second half of play. Loose inside the box briefly, knocked away. Side. Manny Park, the senior, is fouled on the play. Free kick upcoming for Park and last 3 games. 3 goals apiece in each of those games. Shutout so far by Westwood, a defense that has been impressive. Tomas making the save. Outlets it to Oakley to the far side. Oakley trying to link up in the far side. Here's a chance. Nice turnaround pass. Here's the LeClaire back defending against the sophomore. LeClaire poaching that one free. Ardis now bringing it up for Westwood. To Peabody. Chipping it as Noah Lee struggled to get it up the field. Here's Peabody. Peabody again chipping it forward and quickly securing it. Tomas. Over to the far side. Klaus recollecting it. Grinkovich. Back to Klaus to the far side. Going 1v1 with the Klaus will send it in from the far side. Headed back away, now headed up in the air. Easy pop shot. Taken in by Tomas. Tomas getting it up the field. A collision ensues as Strelly continues on. And a player down behind the play for Westwood. We play on for Westwood. Now a long ball, trying to send Fort Lee down the other way. Can they run underneath it? Chipped out of play. Defensively there by Calvin Park. So now it's going to be a throw-in as we're coming up on 6 minutes remaining here in the game. Fort Lee looking for a little late game magic here to tie the score and possibly force overtime. Hashi, end of that, but it just kept on making its way to the near side left post. And just went out as Chris Egar laid off it. He'll get this back in play with a goal kick. 5.5 minutes left to go here in the second half of play. Westwood holding on to a 1-0 lead. On the goal by Kirk Klaus late in the first half of play being the difference. Ashi trying to win back possession. Instead it goes to Westwood. Good ball as that's being sent right down the middle as Peabody just couldn't get to it. Oakley. Right down the middle. His pass was trying to fit that in to Strelly. Strelly frustrated seeing how open he was. That pass could just get to him. There's the turn. Good time, but they're going to say offsides is the call on the far side against Fort Lee. Going down the other way. Dispossessed. Shinoda. Here's Hashi. His left-footed cross gets knocked away by LeClaire. 3:55 and counting now left to go in the second half. Over to the near side, sent over that way by Chan. Strelly. Top of the box, takes and turns and fires. Blind to the nets. And shot it high to the upper right-hand corner. So now, the clock stops with 3:34 left to go here in the second. Egar working on a clean sheet opportunity here for Westwood. Ardis tries to split the double team. Ball just left behind, though. Fort Lee with the clearance out to midfield. Nearly a handball. Fort Lee trying to get it up the field again and stay on sides. Here's Shinoda with it. Centers it. Has his run. Left off to the near side to Strelly. Strelly has to work 1v1. Crosses it over to the far side. Oakley tried to get a header on it. But it deflected off the back of his head and goes out of bounds to the far side. Good idea there by Strelly trying to link up with Oakley. 2:40 and counting now left to go in regulation. Time running out here for Fort Lee. Westwood playing it up to the far side. Peabody knocked off the ball, and that's skewered away by Fort Lee. But it's going to be a throw-in now for Westwood. 2:20 and counting. Again, Westwood content with this, just allowing the ball to skip away and have precious seconds come off the clock as we come up on the final 2 minutes of this second half. The Cardinals' first half goal by this man, Klaus, standing tall. He's looking for more. Klaus over to the near side and poked in for the second goal for Westwood. Klaus with the service here from the far side, finished off in front by TJ Ardis. Ardis with his second goal of the season. Klaus with his first assist of the day, third of the season. So Kirk Klaus with a goal and an assist. And that will finish things off here. It's now a 2-goal lead for Westwood over Fort Lee with 1:56 remaining here in the second half of play. So the long winless drought for Westwood against Fort Lee will most likely come to an end here today on the road in Fort Lee. Good defending here by Westwood. That's been the story here today for the Cardinals. They have really frustrated Fort Lee's opportunities offensively, limiting the touches in the midfield, preventing those balls and those service to the forwards up top. And when there have been those opportunities for Fort Lee offensively, they've been shut down by the goaltending of Chris Egar. And now Westwood looking for more, a 2-on-1, trying to chip it up and over, but Peabody is denied as Tomas had come well out of his net. As it looks like the 5-game win streak for Fort Lee will come to an end here at home. And they'll try to get back in the winner's circle in their next game, a matchup against Ramsey on September 30th. And for Westwood, they will enjoy their first win since September 14th. They had been winless in their last 3 games, a 1-0 loss against Dumont, and then back-to-back ties against Ramsey and Pascack Hills, with now 28 seconds remaining here in regulation. Westwood on their way to their 4th win of the season. Well, Fort Lee will fall for only the second time here in 2021. Final 10 seconds of play as Peabody sends it over the other way. One last attempt trying to get it to Strelly, but he's offsides in the far side. And that will be the final play of the match. And Westwood, for the first time since 2013, have defeated Fort Lee by a final score of 2-0. Goals by Kirk Klaus and TJ Ardis. Klaus also finishing with a goal and an assist in the game. So Westwood with a win will go to 4-1-2 on the season. Fort Lee with the defeat will fall to 5-2 overall. Again, join us for our next broadcast of the boys soccer season here on YouTube, coming up on September 30th as Fort Lee will play host to the Rams of Ramsey High School. So for my broadcast producer Dimitri Nanis, and our camera operator, Renee Matisich, I'm Dan Long saying so long.